So a large percentage of the rail workers don't like the deal that their management, the union management, signed off on, which was, which still denied them the sick leave that they wanted. It wasn't all about their wages. It wasn't all about the money they got, right? They wanted better working conditions. They wanted to be able to have paid sick leave, like normal companies should provide them. I mean, if the normal companies don't want to provide that, then maybe we should institute some form of a government-given leave for the person without the company being able to fire them if they're taking sick leave. But the other thing was a bit more dubious, right? They offered them, by the way, they wanted 15 days a year in sick leave. The company said no, and they've eventually dropped down to 4 days, very small amount of days of sick leave. The company still said no, but we'll compromise. We'll go ahead and give you days off without pay. But guess what? You cannot use it on Tuesday, or rather, you can only use it on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Oh, so they're saying, we don't trust you. You may try to turn this into long weekends, and we have Mondays in trouble and Fridays in trouble. If you pay people right, you won't have to worry about that kind of stuff, right? You won't. Every other company on the planet, they don't worry about that kind of stuff. The people can take their sick leave whenever they're sick. And people don't worry about it being abused. Is it abuse? Sometimes it is, of course. But do corporations abuse as well? Does corporations do things that are kind of underground as well? The executives and the salaried folk? Yeah, they do. So why pick on the working class folk? And why is Biden caving to the plutocracy? Because, again, we all knew it, right? We all knew that it wasn't about progressive values. It was about neoliberalism. So therefore, I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
And perhaps most critically, a potential rail strike that could bring the American economy to its knees in a matter of weeks, if in fact it happens. The Biden administration is warning that if Congress does not override these rail union negotiations, gas, food, water supplies could all run dangerously low. After this morning's White House meeting, Pelosi and Schumer both said they are ready to intervene.
I don't like going against the ability of unions to strike, but weighing the equities, we must avoid a strike. Tomorrow morning in the House, we will bring up the legislation, send it over to the Senate.
And Leader McConnell and I agreed we'd try to get it done ASAP.
Moments later, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy expressed optimism as well that the vote, in fact, would pass. Joe Biden, we know, the president notoriously, a union guy, even blocking a vote like this in Congress when he was a senator back in 1992. But now he's urging Congress to override what these unions want. Take us inside the White House calculations here.
And look, the president said very clearly this was not his preference, Yasmin, but he felt that he had no other choice, writing in that lengthy statement overnight that he was reluctant to override any ratification procedures. But given the prospect of such a catastrophic economic impact, he felt that he needed to implore Congress to act. And that is why, in addition to this meeting with congressional leaders on a whole host of topics, he felt there was a lot of urgency to discuss the matter of trying to avoid this strike. And as you saw there, Speaker Pelosi and Leader Schumer said they think this can maybe get resolved in the next couple of days. And that major deadline is December 9th. We're talking just days before the Christmas holiday, of course, when if this strike goes into place, it would affect freight lines. It would, of course, affect supply chain issues. So this is something that the Biden administration desperately wants to avoid. And it was the president himself just a couple of months ago who did engage personally at the 11th hour and spoke to all of these different rail companies and unions and tried to get them to agree to this tentative proposal, which is what happened. And so now he's saying, since that didn't work, in essence, I am calling on Congress. But there are still a ton of sticking points out there. And again, we talk about December 9th, but the reality is this needs to be resolved in some fashion in the next couple of days, because the rail companies will alert whether they are going to go on strike, it sounds like by Friday. So the White House acting with a lot of urgency on this. And I was told they did spend a good amount of their time discussing that this this morning when the president met with the Big Four, as they're called.
So what do we do? What do we do? I'm going to cover this one in more detail in another post that I'm going to do from my KPFT 90.1 FM show in Houston, Texas. You can all reach it at kpft.org or just go to politicsdoneright.com/TV, politicsdoneright.com/TV. We're going to discuss it in more detail. But I just wanted to cover a tad bit here on our Politics Done Right today while things are still occurring. I expect more to occur, that we'll have more to talk about tomorrow on the show. But check us out, KPFT 90.1 FM at noon tomorrow. We'll still have our 3 o'clock show as well, but at noon tomorrow, KPFT 90.1, we're going to talk about this as well. You can watch it as well at politicsdoneright.tv, politicsdoneright.tv. It's a shame that the constancy of our working class is always put second always to the plutocracy, to the oligarchy, to the corporatocracy. Think about this. If Biden believes that going ahead and allowing these guys to strike is going to cause such a catastrophe for the economy, that means the rail workers do have leverage, and let that leverage be referenced with the pay that they get, with the leverage, with the power that they have to negotiate, because it's going to hurt the big guys. And if the big guys don't want to be hurt, then they should pay. They should pay the living wage. They should pay what these workers deserve. They should give these workers the working environment they are entitled to as human beings. We shouldn't have the president using the power of we the people government to hold a group of we the people down against the corporate structure that's causing them ill. We'll discuss that more later. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number 1, subscribe to our channel, and number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.